So, my friend, I want to ask you, have you been listening to some of my podcasts for a while and identified for yourself all the areas that you feel your business could be better in? Maybe you just are so busy you haven't yet mastered the working as much as you like bit. Or maybe you're just not bringing in the money, like you're struggling with the income, or it's just not enough. Well, it's time for us to have a conversation. In the show notes, there is a link to my evolution call. If you're a dance boss and you are ready to take action, let's have a chat and let's see where I can take you. Welcome, lovelies, to the Ultimate Dance Business Podcast. My name is Deborah Laws, the dance business expert. My passion is to help you turn your passion into profit while guiding you to work less and earn more. I'm super excited to share interviews with you that I know will inspire and motivate you in your schools, as well as my solo shows where I shall be sharing some great tips and strategies. So if you love the show, please do remember to review, subscribe, and share it with your fellow dance boss friends. So let's get stuck into the business of dance. Hey everybody, how are you all doing? Thank you so much for listening to me today. We're going to talk today a little bit about the hidden danger of, but we've always done it that way. I think that sometimes in business, we start our businesses, whether you've had it for a year or 2 years, or whether you've had it for 45 years. And we spend so long learning how to make something work for us in business that when we find something that works, we kind of go, oh, phew, we've worked that one out. Like we've worked out how to communicate with our families, or we've worked out how to fill our classes, or we've worked out how to take payments, and it works. And we get our own little system going, whether that's on a computer or in a notebook or in our head, however it is, we have our way of doing it and it works. Might not be the best way, but it's our way. And then we think we don't necessarily think, it could be on a subconscious level. We just kind of go, right, that's it. I've learned how to do that thing. That's how I do it in my business. And we do that for a while. Really wise people will stop then and take some time to reflect and look at, does this still work? Is this still the best way of doing it? Is there a better way of doing it? And is this way what's happening in the world right now? Or actually, has my way become a bit outdated, a bit old-fashioned, a bit kind of yesterday? And are people expecting more from me that I'm not doing? And therefore, they're feeling very underwhelmed by my school. Like their expectations aren't being met. And they're turning into complainers and moaners. And they're people that just kind of don't really feel like they appreciate what I'm doing, because they're expecting something else. They're expecting more. They're expecting better. And those expectations sometimes come from the fact that business has moved on, life has moved on, systems, marketing, technology, the way that we run a business moves on. And yet we have stayed with but we've always done it this way. So today I thought it would be nice for you to sit down for a little while. You can pause my podcast whilst you reflect, get yourself a piece of paper and a coffee, and let's just do a little bit of work around this today, shall we? Pause me now, go and grab something to write on. Okay, so I want you to think about a few different areas of your business that you run. And the first one is the classes that you have on your timetable. Are the classes that you have still classes that there is plenty of demand for? Are you still holding classes because you just feel you should, They're traditional genres that people have had on their timetables for years. And you can't imagine taking that off the timetable. But actually, hardly anybody wants that anymore. You struggle with the numbers, you struggle to attract people into that. And if they disappeared tomorrow, nobody would really miss them. But also, are there classes that you don't have on your timetable that people are really wanting? Like they're itching for them. They're maybe even going somewhere else for them. Maybe they told you they're going somewhere else because you don't run this class. Or maybe they haven't told you and they're going somewhere else because you don't run this class. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should start classes just because other people are doing it. You've probably heard me say before that we should run our own ship based around what we want. But if we're struggling because we're not giving people what they want, then this could be affecting the growth of our school or the loyalty and the retention in our school. So say some new dance craze came out tomorrow, and it will, won't it? Like, we didn't have TikTok a couple of years ago, and now the kids are all over TikTok. Like, something is going to come up in the future that we're not currently all over. I remember a few years back, nobody ran acro classes in a dance studio. Like, we viewed that as like gymnastics, and gymnastics clubs do that kind of stuff. And now there's barely a dance school in the UK that doesn't run acro classes. Things change. And so I want you to think, are there classes out there that most other schools are doing and that most kids now want that we just don't have? We haven't moved with the times. So spend a little minute or two really looking at your timetable and your classes. Is there anything left on your timetable that maybe it's time to fondly say farewell to? And is there anything that we should have on our timetable that we don't have on the timetable? So classes is the first thing. The next thing I want you to think about is the way that you collect your fees. Now, some of you I know, because I know I've coached a whole bunch of you, are all over this. You have systems, you have software, it's all collected automatically. You don't even have to send out invoices because you've got a direct debit system going. And it couldn't be more simple for you right now. But I also know I'm talking to some of you that still collect your fees in a very manual way. And in my eyes, very manual. I'm not talking cash in an envelope. Gosh, Deborah, you're showing your age now. I'm talking about people paying you by backs, and then you have to go into your bank account and you have to look to see who's paid, and then you have to work out who that person is, and then you sign it off on another piece of software, you enter it as being paid. Like, that to me is very manual. That's not automated and easy and taken off your hands. Some of you might still have a pad and paper, and people can pay however they want, and you're spending ages collecting fees, banking fees, entering fees, and the whole system is incredibly outdated. It's not easy for you. It might be what you're used to, therefore it feels easy, but it's not easy for you in terms of what you could have set up. And it's actually not easy for your parents and your students either. Like, they would love a system where you say, this is how much it is, give me your card details, and you don't ever have to think about making another payment or pay any bills or invoices until the situation changes. Fees go up, or your child drops a class, adds a class, then we might need to do it again. But otherwise, you don't have to pay anything. It's all set up, automated. Technology, clever stuff is going to do it for us. That's so much easier for them. I guarantee your parents would be happy to not have to think about paying a bill, not have to even get their phone out and do a bank transfer. So collecting fees is another area I want you to look at. Is there room for improvement? Is there a lot of room for improvement because you know your system is so outdated, or are you absolutely smashing this one? And then the next thing I want you to think about is marketing. Now, this is something that I spend a lot of time coaching my clients on, a lot. Like, I talk about marketing bits and pieces on my podcast, but nothing like the depth and the detail that I go into when I'm coaching my dance studio owners. People in my membership have hours and hours of training on marketing, because this is one of the most important things about business. If you don't know how to get students into your classes, then you don't have a business, or you have a business that's very unhealthy and very lacking in profitability for you. So marketing is the key to being one of the keys to being successful. I am just going to pause here for a second because I just want to check that you know all about my new software, Dance Business Solutions. And if you don't, then I would love to show it to you. You can book a demo where I will show you around the magic that I have created in Dance Business Solutions, and you can see just what it will do for your business. So from websites to selling events to managing your customers, managing your inquiries, creating surveys, planning your social media, like it does a gazillion things. And they're all very exciting because I have pre-built most of it for you already using my wisdom and expertise as a dance business coach. So go to dancebusinesssolutions.com as soon as you finish listening to my podcast and click on book a demo. And I cannot wait for one of my team to show you around. But what does your marketing look like? You know, I am quite old now, believe it or not. And I do remember the days when we paid to put a credit card size advert in the local newspapers. I remember going around and putting posters up on lampposts. I remember going into newsagents and paying 50p to have a card up in the window. Like these are all the really old versions of marketing because we didn't have computers, we didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have social media, we didn't really have a digital world. So everything had to be seen in person. It was all print marketing, and it was what people saw, opened, walked past, and that's what marketing used to be like. Now, some of you are laughing at some of those things because you can't imagine doing those. Some of you are going, yeah, I remember. I too did those things because maybe we're a similar generation. But what I'm saying is that stuff doesn't really work now. Like you can do it, but I doubt that it's going to bring much of a return for you compared to all the other forms of marketing that are available and you really should be doing now. And the thing is, for every new dance teacher that comes into this world that sets up a dance school, you know, they're young, they're fit, they're healthy. Not only are they full of current, new, fresh ideas and choreography, but they're also learning marketing based on today, based on the now, not based on what we've done in the past. So some of these people are becoming quite successful quite quickly. You know, they're nobodies in terms of existing before. They start a school and before we know it, they've got 100 students. Like within a couple of terms, and we're still trying to hit 100 students after 15 years. Like, how on earth have they done that? Because they're not doing the things that from the past, they're doing the things that work now. And so if you are still doing that, we've always done it this way thing with some of your marketing, and that might be predominantly just leaving your marketing down to good old word of mouth, which, by the way, is still my absolute favorite form of marketing because it means that there's people out there that adore and love you. And who doesn't like that? And it's also free. Oh, and you don't have to do anything. So it's by far my favorite form of marketing, but it's not enough nowadays to have a thriving business. So I really want you to think about, you know, do I know how to market my school in today's climate? I'm currently in the middle of running a month's Studio Growth Lab challenge. Every day for 30 days, I'm posting a marketing method into a WhatsApp group. I've got over 130 people in there, and everybody is having a go at implementing the strategy on a daily basis. Now, one of the things that I asked everybody to do this week was to create a reel, a feel-good reel of the benefits of some of your classes and post it into a local Facebook community group and just talk about what an amazing year we've had. This is what our kids have been up to. These are some of the benefits. And I was like, and just stick it together in a reel. I can't tell you the number of people that didn't know how to make a reel. Now, I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that's a much more up-to-date, modern, digital form of visibility. In 10 years' time, we might be laughing at reels because nobody does reel anymore. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what the future brings? What I'm saying is, most people starting in schools now will have the skill set and they'll know how to do that, and they'll do it in seconds. And there's a lot of people that are in this group at the moment that are really challenged by this because they're just not doing it. They haven't done it before. And I'm quite shocked that they haven't done it before. And so maybe there are forms of marketing out there that you're not doing that you should be doing, but you're not doing because you don't know how, and because what you've done has always worked before. And this is very much why you invest time and money into a coach like myself, so that you can learn these things and keep up to date with these things. This is why I have members that have been with me now for 6 years that never leave. It's not because they haven't learned anything, because they're not great at business. It's because they want to stay great. They want to stay up to date. They know if they leave, things are going to change. Times are going to change. For example, AI, 2 years ago, we didn't have anything called ChatGPT. Now it's everywhere. We're using it in our businesses all the time. If they'd left 2 years ago, they wouldn't be learning about that now. So people stay so they can stay up to date. So you don't even need to join a business coach because you need coaching. You join a business coach, for some of you, so that you can stay current and up to date. So have a little think about your marketing. And then the last thing and I could go into like 20 different topics here, but the last thing really was the way in which you lead your team. You know, team leadership is a massive skill. Team leadership and management are two different things, but they're both massive skills that nobody teaches us. We don't know how to lead or manage a team or people. And it's a whole area of business that, again, we need to, at some point over time, invest in learning about, because it simply isn't enough to just be nice to your team. And in fact, I think I'm going to do a whole separate podcast episode on this. But knowing the way in which to lead a team now, in this period, current time that we're in, this generation, is very different to how we might have led a team 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Depends how long you've had your studio. So keeping up to date with how people are nowadays. I mean, I think you'll agree with me that it goes without say that mental health and well-being has changed dramatically over the last 5 years. Not just our awareness, but also people suffering, people having struggles with their mental health, I think has definitely increased. And therefore, the way in which we approach our teachers and our people that work for us in our business, the way in which we lead them, the way in which we manage them, the way in which we guide and mentor them, the way in which we train them is different now compared to back in the day, or even 5 years ago. We need to keep on top and abreast of what people's needs and wants are now, not what they've always been. But we've always done it like this. We've never needed to do team training. So why do we need to start now? Because now people are different. So there is just a few areas in terms of the way in which you run your business that I would allow you to just reflect on, in terms of, we've always done it this way, but maybe it's time for us to just open ourselves up a little bit to the possibility of learning and to growth, to learning and adapting and evolving, because maybe the way we've always done it is no longer the best way. And again, to reiterate, that's why you have somebody like myself, a business coach that is able to keep you abreast, keep you up to date, and to make sure that your business can thrive in 2026, 2027, 2028. I hope that's been maybe just a little bit of an eye-opener today. I hope it's been helpful. And again, do let me know, message me or pop in my Facebook group, Dance Business Lab Community, if you have thoughts on this or questions. And of course, as always, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, Deborah is so right, and there are all these areas I've identified, I don't really know what the best way is, and I think somebody could point me in the right direction, give me something to learn and implement. I am your girl. So reach out to me and we'll book a little one-to-one chat. Just find me on Facebook, Deborah Laws, send me a private message, and let's have a little chat about what you might need going forwards with your business. Okay, take care, my darling, and I will speak to you again soon. Au revoir.